In this video, I am just north of Chappell, Nebraska, out in the field with a farm that is planting corn, no-till as you can see, running a John Deere 8RT410 tractor pulling the John Deere DB120 planter. This planter is 120 foot wide. It's 48 rows on 30-inch row spacing. I've got several videos of DB planters, the DB60s, DB80s, DB90s. This is the first time ever being out in the field with the DB120, and I must say it's quite impressive. I met this farmer last year during wheat harvest, and I saw this tractor and planter hooked up sitting in his yard, so I was very excited to be able to get back here this spring and actually see it in action. The field he is in right now is about a 600-acre field. He's planting at a little over 6 miles an hour, but averaging 90 acres an hour. This farm does plant some irrigated and some dry land corn. The field they're in right now is dry land, so they're not planting a real high population like you would in the irrigated ground or like we do back home where we just get plenty of natural rainfall. And in a field just down the road from here, this farm was also planting corn with 2 other tractors pulling 16-row planters. I will also have another video from just a few miles from there of a John Deere DR24 planter. That's a mounted planter. That video will be coming up here in the near future as well, so I got a lot of firsts while I was out here in this area. The John Deere DB120 planter, DB I guess stands for Deere and Bauer because Bauer Built is who actually built the bar for all the DB planters. I think since then that it's been sold to John Deere. But anyhow, the DB120 went into production in 2009 on a limited basis, and then in 2010 it was available for full order. I remember seeing the very first one at the 2009 Farm Progress Show in Decatur, Illinois. In 2009, I was not doing YouTube or any social media, but I do have some pictures of that planter on the John Deere display during the setup week. From what I am told, the DB120 planter is no longer in production as of a few years ago. One person told me 2021, but there is one on Tractor House listed as a 2023 model. So it's pretty recent whenever they stop production of this. As far as I know, you can still get all the other DB models up to the 90. The DB90 and the DB120 are very similar in size, other than the DB120 does have fold-up wings on the end. So this is actually a 5-section planter that does have 15 degrees of flex up and down. Now, at the end of this video, I do have a drone shot of him folding this planter up, so you'll see how those outer wings flip up over, and then it folds forward just like all the other DB planters. In 2010, this planter listed for about $345,000. Now, I'm sure there's some variations there depending how it's equipped, and it weighed in around 44,200 pounds. And again, I guess that weight would probably be depending how you have the planter equipped. The John Deere brochure shows this planter takes a minimum of 370 horsepower, and he's pulling it here with 410 horse. Now, this farmer did tell me he's had several different tractors on this planter, but he says this RT410 does handle the planter really nice. Now, it's mostly flat out here in western Nebraska with some rolling terrain, and there will be some shots here when I was riding in the cab with him where he went over some terraces, so you actually get to see some of the flex built into this planter. And what can I say? I'm just excited to be out here videoing this planter. Now, I guess come to think about it, I did actually film a DB120 a few years ago in Oklahoma. There was a farm out there that had 2 of them planting cotton, but he did some conversions on them and put it on a 40-inch row spacing, which this planter was never actually offered on 40-inch row spacing. It was a modification. So that planter, I guess, was not the true DB120. You may have seen that video. If you didn't, maybe I'll remember to put the link to it at the end of this one. And I should actually just do a video sometime of all the different configurations of John Deere planters that I have filmed over the years. If you remember earlier this spring, I filmed a DB90 that was set up on 20-inch row spacings. It was a 54-row planter. But hey, I think I talked long enough. Let's turn this over to the sound of the machine. In this video, I do have lots of different drone shots, different angles. I did get to ride in the cab. Got some on the ground shots, and as I said earlier, at the end of the video, I do have a shot of him folding this planter up and then heading down the road with it to the next field. And he's all done with this 600-acre field, so we're going to watch him fold it up now. So notice that outside 4 rows on each end will fold up and flip over, and then the rest of the planter will front fold just like all the other DB planters. Anyways, over the next couple minutes, we'll watch him fold this machine up and head down the road to the next field. And that's going to wrap up this video of the John Deere DB120 corn planter in Chappell, Nebraska. If you would, go down there, hit that like button, feel free to leave a comment, and if you're new to my channel, I would certainly appreciate it if you would hit that subscribe button and check back often. I'm always filming, editing, uploading new content to my channel all the time. You can also follow me along on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Farmhand Mike. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.